Hello everyone. So I'm sure that you people might have seen magic tricks where a magician is asking you to think of a number, then multiply it with something and then add and do some mathematical operations and tell him the result. And then finally he gives you the number that you initially thought. Well, you might have wondered how does he do that, right? So the answer to that is through linear equations, and today's topic of discussion is linear equations in one variable. I'm sure that you might have already studied some of these things in class 7, where you might have learned about what are equations and what are the different terms that are used in equation, but still let us have a quick recap. Variable. What is a variable? As the name suggests, the variable is something that can vary, that is change, and a variable takes on different numerical values. Usually a variable is denoted by single letters like x, y, l, m, n, etc. What is an expression? Now, an expressions are formed by performing operations like addition, subtraction, division, multiplication on the variables. So, this is an example of an expression: 2x minus 5, x minus 3, y minus 2, all these are expressions. Now, what is an equation? How is it different from an expression? Well, an equation has a condition of equity. That means in an equation there is always an equality sign. The equality sign shows that the values on the left side of the sign is equal to the value on the right side of the sign. For example, I can tell you that 2x minus 3 equal to 5 is an equation. Why? Because it has an equal to sign, and this equation means that 2x minus 3 is equal to 5, right? I hope you are clear with this. Let's move on to our topic of discussion, that is linear equation. What is a linear equation? An equation which has the highest power of the variable as 1 is called as a linear equation. The highest power is called as the degree of the equation. So you can say that in the linear equation, the degree of the equation is 1. For example, x plus 3 equal to 10 is a linear equation. Why? What is the degree of the variable here? Which is the variable x? X, what is the degree of the variable x? 1. Hence I can say that this is a linear equation. This here, what is this equation? Well, this equation here is x square plus 1. So, which is the variable here? X is the variable. What is the power of the variable? 2. That means it is not 1. Hence I can say that this is not a linear equation. Similarly, this y plus y square. What is the power of this equation? It is 2. So I can say that this is not a linear equation. Similarly, in this case, you can say that z is the variable and the highest power for this expression is 3. Hence, this is not a linear equation. I hope you are clear with this. Now let's move forward and understand how do you solve these linear equations. Well, there are two methods to do that. One is called the inverse operations method, and the second is called as the transpose method. Let's understand what this inverse operation method is. Let us do this by taking some examples. This is an equation, x plus 3 equal to 10. Now, as you already know, in equations there are some rules that you already would have studied in class 7, that if I am adding something on the left hand side, I have to perform the same thing on the right hand side. It need not be addition. I mean to say, if you are doing a mathematical operation on the left side, the same mathematical operation has to be done on the right side. Only then the equation will remain balanced. It's very similar to a weighing balance. If you take the example, if this is the weighing balance, right, this weighs 10 kg. This weighing balance will only be equal if here also you have 10 kg. Now I can say that the weighing balance is equal. Now I decide to add 3 kilos here, right? Now to make the weighing balance equal, I need to add 3 kilos on the other side also, right? Similarly, in an equation, when I have an equal to sign, that means if I am performing a mathematical operation on the left side, I need to do the same thing on the right side. I hope you are clear with that. Now what do you do with an inverse operation method? My first task is to get the variable separate from the other things, other constants, right? So what I'll do here is that I want the variable to be on the left side and all the other constants to be on the right side. So what can I do to avoid this number 3 here? What mathematical operation can I perform here? I can simply subtract 3 on both the sides, right? So I'll write here subtracting 3 on both sides. So what I do here is x plus 3, which is already given, and I am subtracting 3 on both the sides. 10 minus 3. So what does this effectively become? I cancel this. This becomes x equal to 7. Well, this is called as the solution of this equation, where if I put x equal to 7 in this equation, I'll get it equal to be 10. And linear equation, there is only one solution. Remember that. So when you get a question to solve, a question would be there, solve x plus 3 equal to 10. What do you do there? What are you solving? You are solving for the value of x. You are finding the value of x which satisfies this equation. I hope that is clear. This is called as an inverse operation method. Let's understand the second equation here. Now, okay, so I want the variables on one side and the constants on the other side. I have this plus on this side. What do I do to avoid this plus or remove this plus? I subtract 5, right? So I subtract 5 on both the sides to avoid this. So I can write this equation as 2x plus 5 minus 5 equal to 13 minus 5, right? So this will be 2x equal to 8. So x would be equal to 8 by 2 equal to 4. So I can say that when x equal to 4 put in this equation comes true, right? Let's do that. Put x equal to 4 here. X is 4. So 4 into 2 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. So I can say that the solution of this equation is x equal to 4. I hope it is clear to you guys. Let's move to the next method, transpose. Now what do you mean by the word transpose? Transpose means transferred, right? So exactly the same thing we are doing here. Now what is the first requirement? The first requirement is to have the variables on one side and all the other things on the other side, right? Now in inverse operations method, what did I do in this equation? If I have a plus 3 and I want to avoid this, I subtract 3 on both the sides and I get rid of the 3, right? That is inverse operations method. But in transpose, I simply transfer number 3 from here with its sign. This is its sign. I transfer it here and reverse the sign. So this equation can become x equal to 10. What is the reverse of plus? The plus sign, when it goes here, it becomes minus. So I can write it minus 3 equal to 7. So in short, what is happening? Addition sign when transposed becomes subtraction. Understood? It's simply plus sign. When I am shifting it from one side to other, it becomes negative. Similarly, in this case, what is happening? Now, I have minus 5. Now, when I transfer minus 5 from here to that side, what happens? This minus becomes plus on the right hand side. So, I can write this as x equal to 13 plus 5, right? Now, what has happened? Subtraction transposed to addition, right? Now, let's take the third example, 2x plus 14. Now, I see that x has a coefficient here, 2. What should I do to avoid this 2? Now, if it was an inverse operations method, what would I have done? Here, 2 is in multiplication. So, I would have divided 2 on both the sides and got rid of this 2. In transpose, I simply take this 2 which is in multiplication here, I take it and bring it on the other side and divide. So, I can write this x equal to 14 by 2 equal to 7. Here, multiplication transposes to division. I hope that is clear to you guys. Now, in this case, to get rid of this 2 which is in division with x, right, I need to have only the variable. Now, if I want to get rid of the 2 which is in division with the x, what should I do? A division on one side when transposed becomes multiplication on the other side. So, this division when goes from here to here, it becomes x equal to 10 into 2 which is 20. So, I can say that division transposes to multiplication. I hope that was clear. So, if you take a step back and just think about the two methods, in a way both the methods are almost the same. What you are doing, if I take this case plus 3 in inverse method, if I subtract 3 on both the sides, in a way what you are doing is that you are just taking the 3 from here and shifting it there, right? So, if I just write the inverse method on top of here, x plus 3 minus 3 equal to 10 minus 3. Now, here 3 and 3 gets cancelled. In a way, I am getting the same equation from here, right? So, inverse operation methods is in a way very similar to a transpose method. I hope that was clear. Now, let's move forward and solve some questions. Okay? Yeah. So, here's the first question. The present age of Sahil's mother is 3 times the present age of Sahil, right? So, there are two people here. So, let me just make a table for you. Sahil and mother. Okay? Okay. So, it is given that present age of Sahil's mother is 3 times the present age of Sahil. So, let me just assume present age of Sahil to be x. So, his mother's age would be 3 times of Sahil, that is 3x. Now, after 5 years their ages will add up to 66. So, what does it mean? Just try to think, like if my age right now is 25, so after 5 years it would be 30, right? Similarly, after 5 years, what would Sahil's age would be? It would be the present age plus 5 years, right? And similarly for his mother, it would be present age plus 5 years, right? And it is given that after 5 years, their ages will add to 66. So, after 5 years, these two ages will add to 66, that is x plus 5 plus 3x plus 5 equal to 66. Now, combining only the variables 4x plus, now combining the constants 10 equal to 66. Now, what can I do? There are two methods to only keep the variable on one side and all the other constants on the other side. What are the two methods that we studied? Inverse operation method and transpose method. So, inverse operation method, if I subtract 10 on both the sides, I can get rid of the constant here, right? Or I can simply transpose it to the other side, right? So, if I transpose it, the plus becomes minus on the other side and this is equal to 56, right? So, I'll write this here. 4x equal to 56. Now, if I only want x, what does this? The coefficient of x is 4. So, when it goes on the other side, when it transposes to the other side, the multiplication becomes division. So, I can write this as 56 by 4, which is 14, right? So, we got x equal to 14, that means Sahil's present age is 14. What is his mother's age? Which is 3x, which is equal to 14 into 3 equal to 42, which is Sahil's mother's age. I hope that was clear, right? Now let's move to the next question. Okay, the sum of three consecutive multiples of 11 is 363. Find these multiples. Fine. So before I start, let me just make the line that represents the multiples of 11. 11, second is 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77 and so on, right? Now if I observe one thing, I see that the difference between the first and the second multiple is 11, right? Difference between 22 and 33 is 11. Similarly here it's 11 and similarly for all the one. Now if I want to find the third multiple from 11, that is which is the multiple of 11 after the third consecutive multiple of 11 starting from 11, what would it be? So if I want to calculate it, what should I do? I can add 11 plus 11 to this and get 33, right? So if I write 11 here, I want to find the third multiple of 11. What can I do here? So I add simply 22. So I get 33. That is these two. So I get this one. Similarly, if I wanted to find the fourth multiple, what will I do? I add 33 to 11. So I get 44. Right? Similarly, the fifth one, I add 44 to 11. I get the fifth multiple. So, and the second multiple would just be add 11 to 11. It would be 22. Right? So I can observe a pattern here. The three consecutive multiples of 11 would always have a difference of 11 and 22. I can simply write the first multiple of 11 as, let me assume it as x. What would be the second consecutive multiple, the immediate multiple of 11 after x? It has to be something, this x plus 11, right? And which would be the immediate multiple after this? It would be x this plus 11. So I can write like this. I can write it. What did I do here? If this is one multiple of 11, the immediate after this would be x plus 11, right? And the another immediate after, the exact immediate after this would be this plus 11. So I have written there. So I can write it three consecutive multiples of 11 as x, x plus 11 and x plus 22, right? Let us just try if this is correct or not, our representation is correct or not. If I put x equal to 11, the first thing, so x equal to 11, okay, 11, correct. X is 11 here, so 11 plus 11, 22, right. X is 11, 11 plus 22, 33, correct. So I can say that this representation is right if I say it is the three consecutive multiples of 11, right. I hope this was clear. I'll just remove these things and write it again. So let me assume that the three multiples of consecutive multiples of 11 are x, x plus 11 and x plus 22. Now the sum of all these three are 363. So I just add all these. Equal to 363, right? Now I combine the variables, which is 3x plus the constants 33 equal to 363, right? Now I want only the variable on one side and all the other things on the other side. So what do I do? Simply transpose this from here to here, right? So it will be 3x equal to 363 minus 33, which is equal to 330, right? Now 3x equal to 330. So x, what will I get x as? I transpose the multiplication of 3 here to here, it will become division, and x will be 330 by 3, which is 110. This is 3. Okay, so I get x as 110, the first multiple in our question. So if x is 110, which is the immediate next multiple of 11, that is x plus 11, that is 110 plus 11, that will be 121, and which is the third one, x plus 22, which will be 110 plus 22, which is 132. Now if you observe, if you observe 110, 121, 132, all these three are three immediately occurring multiples of 11, right? I hope this question was clear. Now let's move forward to the final problem. Okay, now we need to solve this equation. I had earlier told you that when you have a question where it is given that solve for this equation, it means that you need to find the value of x which satisfies this equation, right? Okay. So first of all, let us simplify the LHS and RHS, left hand side and the right hand side. So I can see that, let me just write what is the LHS. 6x plus 1 divided by 3 plus 1, right? Now I know that I need to keep only the variables on one side and all the other constants on the other side. I need to do that. Before that, I'll just simplify the left hand side. So how can I make the common denominator here? I'll take the LCM and just add it. If I take the common denominator is 3, 3, 1, 3, which is equal to 6x plus 4 by 3, right? So this is the simplification of the LHS. This can be written as this, right? Now what is the RHS? RHS is x minus 3 equal to 6. This is the RHS. Now I'll write both these two together. 6x plus 4 by 3 is equal to the RHS, x minus 3 by 6. Now there are two ways what I can do to avoid these two denominators here, because it is having a coefficient with the variable. How can I avoid the denominators? There are two methods. Either I multiply the LCM of both these two on both the sides. Why I have taken LCM is, just imagine if I had multiplied only 3 on both the sides. So if I multiply 3 here, this 3 and the 3 would get cancelled. 3 here would again leave a denominator of 2, right? Whereas if I multiply the LCM 6, which is the LCM of 3 and 6, if I multiply 6 here, if 6 is multiplied here, so 3 and 6 will get cancelled to become 2, and 6 and 6 would get cancelled. So I have avoided the denominators, right? So I'll do that. So I'll write it here, multiplying the LCM of 3 and 6. So I multiply 6 on both the sides, which will give 2 times, I'll write it for you, 6. Okay, let me just cancel. I'll write it 6 into 6x plus 4 by 3 equal to 6 into x minus 3 by 6, right? I have multiplied 6 on both the sides. Now what will happen? I'll cancel 3 and 6 here and I'll get 2. 2 times of 6x plus 4 is equal to 6 and 6 will get cancelled. So I'll just get x minus 3. I'll open the bracket here using distributive property. I'll get 12x plus 8 equal to x minus 3. Now again using the transpose laws, I want the variables on one side and the constants on the other. So if I move the variable x from here to here, it has to become, it is positive sign here. So if it comes here, it becomes negative. So I can write 12x, I bring x here, so it becomes minus x. Now I take this constant from here and transpose it to the right hand side. So if it is plus here, it becomes minus on the other side. So I can write minus 8 and minus 3 is already here, right? I hope this was clear. So I can write this as 11x equal to minus 8 plus 3 is minus 11. So what is x? X is equal to minus 1. So we have got the solution of this equation as x equal to minus 1. Now we will just check if the solution is right or not. So now we got the solution of x as minus 1. Let us check for LHS if the value is correct or not. What is the value on the left hand side if I substitute x equal to minus 1 in this equation? 6 into minus 1 plus 1 by 3 plus 1. 6 into minus 1 is minus 6 plus 1 by 3 plus 1, which is minus 5 by 3 plus 1, which is equal to, I take the LCM, minus 5 plus 3 by 3, which is minus 2 by 3. This is the LHS. Similarly, for the RHS, if I substitute x equal to minus 1, what would it be? Minus 1 minus 3 by 6, which is minus 4 by 6, which is, if I cancel here, 2, 3, right? So minus 2 by 3. That means I can say that LHS is equal to the RHS. Hence, the value of x that we got as minus 1 is correct. I hope these questions were easy to solve and you are clear with this. Thank you.